Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dirty Laundry. I'm your host, Code Marvelous, and today I am joined by Calvin, one of my Netrunner friends from Twitter. Go ahead and say hi.
Hi.
And you're joining me for a very special, extra janky episode of Dirty Laundry where we're going to build the Professor.
I love it. This is the stuff I live for. This is why I play Netrunner.
The Professor is why you play Netrunner. Yeah,
Stuff like this is why I play Netrunner. I've
that's good.
not actually managed to make a working build with him in like a year, and even that build was kind of only okay.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get into it and we're going to discuss it, but one of the issues with the Professor has is for the skill that you need to play him, you could play another Shaper and do better. But before we get into that, tell me, Calvin, a little bit about how you got into Netrunner and what attracts you to the Professor as an archetype. Tell me your Netrunner story. How'd you get started?
okay, so when FFG announced Netrunner, I was like, this is amazing, but I will never buy it because I would have to get so many packs, right? So I just lusted after it and drooled over it, and I actually learned Octagon just so I could play it, and I was like,
Oh,
oh my god, this game is so good. I played once with my girlfriend. She said it was a nice game, but she hated the Octagon interface, so we never played it again. I was like, oh well, that's the end of that story. Come our anniversary, she was like, here's a Netrunner core set, surprise! And
surprise.
yeah, and the both of us have been playing since then. So I started playing around Cyber Exodus in the third pack of the Genesis cycle. She started, I think, shortly after Creation and Control. And now she's outperforming me at every event we go to.
That's good. That's
So
exciting, though.
yeah,
That's
it
what
is
gaming's
exciting.
all about. It's all about
It is.
spreading enjoyment.
It is. We have a really nice local meta in Kuala Lumpur. Not a lot of net decking, so a lot of people just sort of doing their own thing. We have a fairly janky meta. So, and I think this is really important for me because if our meta was filled with IG and TTM, the game would be a lot less fun. So the fact is that I think embracing jank is really important because if you can take that jank and make it work for your local scene and work in events, then you can have way more fun both on the deck building side and the play side because jank is fun to play against as well as it is to create.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, well, I'm excited. Let's see what we do with our man, the Professor, the Keeper of Knowledge.
Hello.
For those of you who aren't familiar with the Professor, because you've never taken him out of the box, um, he is a 45-1 identity where the first copy of each program in the deck does not count against the influence limit. So basically, he can have two of one influence cost programs, or he can have one card that isn't a program that costs one influence, and then any program out of faction, he can have one copy of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on a base level, that's really powerful, and you could do some crazy stuff.
Hmm.
So before we really launch into that, I want to just talk a little bit about my own experience with the Professor. So it's basically like you have a big tool belt, but you have to have other tools to help you find the tools that you need at a specific time, which can create somewhat of a problem. I think some of that has been mitigated more recently, but let's get into it. So if we're going to build the core of a Professor deck, where would you like to start?
Okay, so I was thinking about this, and I think the first thing to start is really the economy.
Okay.
Uh, I know a lot of people like to start with, so how do you win? But I think how do you win is actually tied very strongly in Shaper decks to your economy. Because do you want to do Magnum Opus? Magnum Opus specifically limits um, your deck building because you need to create memory solutions for magnum opus because you're not chaos theory. But the upside with magnum opus is if you have a magnum opus economy, your win condition can be very varied because so long as it's not program based, you can have a lot of deck space to create a victory condition. I was playing around with the idea of an out of the ashes, notoriety, freedom through equality, liberated Chela thing where you win without the corp actually doing anything. But the problem with that idea was not the liberated Chela notoriety part. The problem was making magnum opus work and also having enough memory space for breakers to actually get in, unless you use Eater. But the problem with doing an Eater setup is you run into issues where you need your backup programs. And anyway, then the other thing I was thinking of was the traditional Shaper setup of professional contacts, Sure Gamble, Dirty Laundry, Daily Casts, Katie Jones. And the other one that I was looking at was prepaid voice pad. Because prepaid voice pad is free in the Professor. But the problem with prepaid voice pad is that you can't have Lucky Find. You can only have one Deuces Wild. You can't have a lot of,
You can't have a lot of the economy cards that really make it sing. You can get your run, you can get your Maker's Eyes and your Dirty Laundries for free. But the question often becomes, is that enough, especially in the Professor, where your a lot of your slots you want to go to programs so you can maximize his ability.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to have. I mean, the trap with trying to make a tool belt utility Swiss Army knifey kind of deck is that you want to stuff in something for everything, because these programs are amazing. I want all of them, but then that dilutes your deck to the point where you kind of have a bloated mess that doesn't do anything. Okay, yes, you've got 30 influencer programs in your deck, but you will use some of them once in every 10 games, and they're eating valuable deck space.
Right.
So that's the challenge with deck building with the Professor. Because sometimes if you just get to something like 22 or 25 influence, that's often like really high. So that might actually be enough. But is it enough to offset not being Kate, not being Chaos Theory, not being Kit, not being Haley? That's a bit harder.
Not being Smoke.
Yes. Oh yeah. Sorry, that reminds me. There's the other setup that I was thinking about, which was stealth economy. But the problem with that idea is that it's pretty much exclusively better in Smoke.
Yeah.
So why are you doing it?
Well, because you don't need the extra influence really. Most of the cards that Smoke wants, except for 2 breakers, are in Shaper anyway.
Yes, and you use the rest of her influence to do things like account siphon.
Right, or whatever tricks, whatever enhancements you're adding to make stealth a little bit better, a little bit more impactful. But yeah, so I don't know.
I like the idea of prepaid voice pad, so we'll start with 3x of that.
Yeah, prepaid voice pad, pretty good. Used to be like the bane of Netrunner.
Yes.
Now we hardly ever see it.
Okay, so let's fill out on top of prepaid voice pad, obviously Sure Gamble and Dirty Laundry.
Yep, because got to get that money. Yeah, Dirty Laundry is just a fantastic card. It
really is.
Yeah.
Especially if you can play it for free.
I think we're probably going to throw the diesels in.
Yes, 3 diesel.
What else is some money? You mentioned the Deuces Wild. Do we want to put one in there?
No. I think the 1x slot has to be Stimhack.
Oh, that makes sense.
Just because the problem with something like a prepaid voice pad professional contact economy is you don't have that super burst, especially because you don't have Lucky Find.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so I think 1x Stimhack is a requirement. Test run.
Test run. How many of those?
Yeah. 3. For now. Everything is going to be 3 unless until we reach to like 55 and have to cut. The reason I say test run is not just synergy with prepaid voice pad, but also to bring out his programs that he's imported. Test run David, Test Run Parasite, Test Run
Femme Fatale.
Test Run Fem, Test Run Sneak Door Beta. These are all pretty good. So you Test Run Sneak Door Beta for free, and then you make 3 runs, and then it goes back on your stack for another thing. 1x Escher, maybe. This is just me spitballing based on
Asher. Now we're getting into some serious territory. Do we want to put the Maker's Eyes in?
let's say 3 for now, yes.
Yeah. Maker's Eyes very solid with prepaid.
Mm-hmm. Can we scroll down this list of Shaper events? I like modded. Let's have one of those.
Modded seems good. It's one of my favorite cards. It's got one of my favorite pieces of art on it. I also just appreciate like little things, like the fact that modded has on it the card that Shapers are most likely to use it for.
This is my favorite card in the entire game. Not modded, Magnum Opus.
Yeah.
I only recently learned that art is the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like, I've been playing this card for like 3 years. Okay, let's keep scrolling down this list. Quality times. I'd like at least 2 of those.
Okay.
Because hey, if you can play them for free, they're pretty good. But at the same time, I feel like this might be slightly too much draw, especially since Professional Contacts is probably going to be in this deck, but we'll see. Scavenge, 3, let's say for now. We'll probably have to cut that ratio because we're already at 26 cards.
Yeah.
Okay, can we keep scrolling down? Social engineering. Social engineering. I'm so tempted.
Oh, the card's so bad. It's like an even worse Cortez chip because you have to play it as your first click.
I'm so tempted though. Let's say 1.
Oh,
It'll probably be the first to go. But yeah. The Price of Freedom, Tinkering. Let's say 1 Tinkering for now because Cyber Cipher is a really good card. Okay, so now we've got like 15 events too many, but so that's events for now.
Okay.
What I really like about what we're doing right now, by the way, is we never have to click on the other faction tabs at all, ever.
Well, do we want to look at any neutral events just to take a look?
Yeah.
Right, we can't take Employee Strike.
No, we can't take Employee Strike. 1x Freedom.
Yeah, Freedom through Equality is always good, and especially if we're not paying money for it.
Mm-hmm.
That also seems good.
No, I don't think we can do Populist Rally.
Yeah, I didn't even know didn't even remember what that card did.
No.
Yeah, there really isn't much for us.
How much does Injection Attack cost?
It's 1 credit.
With the Icebreakers we're doing, I don't think we need it.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Okay. So now let's go into programs.
Yeah. Programs seem good. So now we're gonna turn everything on.
Ta-da! Yeah. Okay.
You know what this deck definitely doesn't need? Alpha and Omega.
Those are very expensive.
And
unfortunate.
They're very, very bad. Let's look at some influence. I don't know about Black Orchestra. Do we want... I mean, okay. I guess another question that I have is if we're going to do this professor thing, are we going to put in, like, some number of ASOPs to get rid of programs we don't need anymore?
That's an excellent question. I think the answer is maybe. Because it really depends on our program suite, what we end up bringing in.
Right, because that's my question, because then if we do that, then we can throw, like, 1 cash in. You know what I'm saying? And have it be worthwhile.
Yeah, but you also have test run and scavenge, right? If you test run a cache and the test run is free.
Right.
We could try 1.
Okay. Yeah, let's put that in there for now. I mean, we're already probably going to be over.
Oh, yeah, Artman. I definitely want 1 Artman.
Yeah.
It's up there. Yeah.
We probably want a Clot. I hear Shaper really loves that card called Clot.
I never run Clot, actually.
What?
Simply because my meta doesn't have enough NBN.
That's like Oz, man. Like, I don't know what magical world you're living in. Every one of my Shaper decks has a Clot in it.
We had more Jinteki than NBN at our last major event.
Okay, we'll leave it out for now.
No. We are putting it in now because we're going online, and online there's going to be a million NBN. But I'm just, yes.
Okay, so as far as a fractor, do we want corroder or do we want clippy?
I think Clippy just for he's more expensive, but I think that because you're not paying influence,
Right.
and this I think this deck wants to make multiple repeated runs, so the cheaper
The cheaper braking is more
breaks. Yeah.
important.
Cypher at least 2.
Yeah, we want a David in there.
Yes, 1 David. Yeah, you read my mind. Just 1 David.
Yeah.
We could try 1 Sucker.
Data Sucker is probably my favorite card in Netrunner. I love Data Sucker.
Oh, really? Okay, good, because I never use it, so you'll be able to teach me what to do. Oh my god,
Data Sucker is so good. But I'm a noise player. Like Data Sucker.
Yes.
Is like the classic. I'm
very tempted to put 1 Disruptor to really, really mess with the
prevent a trace. That trace initiates again with a base strength of 0. That's pretty freaking funny. Yeah, whatever. Let's do it.
Season replacements. Eat it. Okay.
Yeah,
it'll probably get cut.
Hard-hitting news also. If we put what's that card called? Leprechaun in, we can do Endless Hunger.
No, sorry. No, not strong.
Not strong.
Not strong in this deck. Not strong in this deck.
I think we definitely want a 1 of Fairy because that program's really good for no influence.
Correct. Because this is normally the point in the Shaper deck where you add 1 Sharpshooter or 1 Deus Ex.
Right.
Or you could add Fairy. Yeah.
Right. Do we want the Femme Fatale since we're running?
Yeah.
All right.
Femme usually doubles as Mimic as well for me.
Yeah.
We have a Code Gate Breaker, we have our Sentry Breakers.
Do we have a Code Gate Breaker?
Yeah, 2 Sai.
Oh, 2 Ciphers, yeah.
Yeah. Imp. I love Imp, and Imp is really good.
Imp's really good.
I think 2 Hyperdrivers to start with, because we're going to do Professional Contacts, and Hyperdriver is good there.
Okay. Do we want Progenitor?
Do I want Progenitor? What would be the Progenitor for? Data Sucker.
Okay,
throw one in.
Yeah, Data Sucker. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, we've already got a Clippy in there. Do we want a Parasite since we don't get the extra influence cost?
Yes, we want a Parasite. Basically, this is me throwing in all the cards I've always wanted to in my other deck.
All right, we're gonna put a Medium in there because Medium's an incredible card. Do we want Mimic or Mongoose or both?
Can I see the stats on Mongoose again? I haven't seen it in a while. Because we already have Fairy, I don't think we need Mongoose, but maybe 1 Mimic. Yeah, maybe 1 Mimic. In my regular deck, I would be playing Chameleon instead of Mimic to save influence, but we don't need to do that.
Right. We definitely need some sort of MU enhancement. Are we going to do that with hardware, or are we going to do that with leprechauns?
Let's try 1 leprechaun for now. We probably might try hardware as well. Okay.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Let's see. Sneak Door Beta. Sneak Door Beta 1. Scroll some more. Thank you. Oh, Varmadeva. 1 Varmadeva.
Break 1 ice subroutine. Ice is exactly 1 subroutine.
Yep.
Huh.
Okay. I don't think this will actually work in the build. I just want to put it in because it's funny. See, we're already at 50 cards.
Yeah, we're already at 50 cards, which is pretty impressive. All right, so let's go ahead and get the professional contacts in there.
Yeah.
Do we want to have some number of same old things since we're running all these events?
I think 2 same old things.
And I guess the other question that I have is, are we going to run something like New Angeles and Film Critic just to keep us safe from tags, or we say it?
I never do. But but
What
that's just me.
what's our not
We
die
could.
protection?
What's our not die protection? Imp.
Okay. I mean, yeah. All right, so we got to do some cuts. We've got a minimum of
Oh,
10 cards.
we also need like one Cardi Jones just so that we don't actually run out of money,
Okay.
and one Levy
Okay.
because it's a prepaid deck. Okay, so
So now we have 13 cards to cut.
yeah, I know that. Oh my god. Okay, so I know that I said at the start of this that we're going to start with 3 prepaid voice pads, but I'm actually feeling that the prepaid voice pads might be a little bit low impact at the moment
Well, the
because
number of cards that they actually meaningfully affect 9, 11, 12,
12, 13,
13. It's not terrible.
it's not terrible.
No, it's not bad. Um,
Maybe 2 instead of 3, but I don't know.
I mean,
Okay, so the social engineering can go.
yeah, social engineering can definitely go. I think,
The Asher can probably go as well. I'm not seeing that our rig is really going to be Asher reliant.
yeah. I think we can probably say that you're running more than one modded, or you're not running modded, because otherwise you're setting up like a pachinko machine where you're trying to hope that you draw it when you have something meaningful to install it. Otherwise you're holding it. I don't know. Like, my experience with modded has always been you want 2 copies of it or you want no copies of it. You know what I mean?
Let's try 2 copies, yeah. I think the quality times can go because
We got a
professional
lot of draw.
contacts. Yeah.
See, okay, so that's where I'm gonna disagree, because quality time prepaid, like, the enhancement factor on that is significant.
Okay.
Just because, like, the reason you don't play quality time when you're holding it is because you're worried you're not going to have enough to install the items after paying 3. If you get it for free and just draw 5, it gets significantly better.
Okay. We can probably lose the tinkering though.
Yeah. Well, okay, so then that means we're probably going to be holding scavenges for cyber ciphers, unless we're just saying one for the remote and one for R&D. You know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah. Because we also have Parasite.
Right.
As much as I think Varmadeva is hilarious, I remember we also have Parasite and
Yeah.
David, so probably not. I'm starting to feel like a lot of these cards are only in this deck because we have like, I think Fem is only here because we have Test Run. But
Yeah.
do we really need Test Run, given that we haven't even put 3 copies of Clone Chip or Self-Modifying Code in this deck?
I mean, we don't... Okay, if we don't do test run scavenge, then I think we're probably shifting to a different type of economy and moving off of prepaid.
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, I would love to have this, but it's at 54 cards. We haven't got SMC and we haven't got Clone Chip.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get rid of prepaid, which means we're going to get rid of quality times.
Yeah. Sorry, listeners.
It's okay. I mean, this is how you work on it.
The test runs can probably go as well.
Test runs can go. I don't know.
I don't know. Keep one.
Okay.
Keep one.
I think we want 2 scavenges and 1 test run.
Yeah, this seems like a slightly better ratio.
Can probably go down to 2 makers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need another economy
Can cut
source.
the levy.
I think we need Magnum Opus. Actually, we can't. Magnum Opus really fights for clicks with professional contacts.
That's what I was about to say. I think we might run into click issues because every time I try to do a Proco Magnum Opus build,
Right,
yeah,
you're fighting for clicks.
yeah.
Um, hmm.
The thing is that I think this econ is fine, maybe 2 KTs instead of 1. I think it's
Okay.
actually okay. You just have to be pretty aggressive about what about when you're just going to Proco. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Um,
Three SMC.
I think
I
we
don't
also
think you can
want
get away with it.
we want to add ASOPs to this.
Sure. All right. Can try it.
Um,
3 SMC. I don't think you can get away with our SMC.
no. Then we get the clone chips for free.
Yes, correct. Okay, so now we're gonna have to make some fairly aggressive cuts.
Okay, I
So
think
we'll start with the breakers. Fairy, Mimic, Paperclip, Sai, Artman. 6 breakers. I feel like we can cut 1.
okay. Um,
Cut the Mimic.
oof.
Yeah, because we have Artman. And we have Fairy. And we have David. I think we should be okay.
I'm just concerned. I guess my 2 cents here is just
Actually, no, you're...
the Kamainu is going to chew up our clone chips then. If you're talking about like a Jinteki deck, Mimic makes it so that like Kamainu doesn't just chew through our tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, leave the breakers. I think breakers should be okay. I think I was trying to make a cut in the wrong place. I was trying to slim down the icebreakers when you got so many other places to slim down.
I think we got to say progenitor is something we're not going to need.
Okay.
Even though I'd like to have it, it's a slot that is that just keeps us from losing. It doesn't help us win, if that makes any sense.
No, it totally does. The disruptor can go. I knew it.
The dream is dead.
I know. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Cash as well, maybe.
Cash.
Because here's what I'm thinking. Because scavenge and test run are the primary ways of recurring cash.
Right.
And when we had Levy, it was fine. But now we don't have Levy. And...
yeah, I'm with you.
So now we only need to cut 4.
Alright.
Oh, we don't have... instead of the Leprechaun, I just realized. 1 Astrolabe, 1 Akamatsu Mem chip. This is a trick that I learned from one of the players in my local meta. It's actually pretty good. Yes, you end up with 6 MU. And that's...
eventually.
Yeah, but, you're drawing so much, you should be fine.
Okay, I think we're going to go down to 1 ASOPs then. Because it's not a must-have.
I don't think there's anything that you put down that you actually want to sell.
David is an example. Imp is another example.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I haven't played with ASOPs in so long.
Yeah, I mean, that's only 2, though, so you're probably right. For me, it's just, I always think of ways to get the extra money and get them off the board but that's still only 2 cards and we're not playing Levy, so it can probably go. So now we've just got to cut 3 cards.
The test run.
Okay. 2
It's
cards.
Expensive. It's expensive when you're not running 3 scavenge.
We also don't have a ton of great targets for it.
Imp is a phenomenal target for it, but...
Alright.
1 same old thing.
Okay. And then 1 more, I think maybe a dirty laundry.
Thinking.
Or,
Okay, what's our perfect rig? Our perfect rig is an Artman. No, not an Artman. A Cyber Cipher, a Mimic, a Paperclip. Maybe the second Cyber Cipher. A Data Sucker, and a Medium. Right?
Right.
I'm worried about getting mem-locked is what I'm thinking of.
Right. Well, the easiest way around that with what we've got is to find room for the 1 Leprechaun again. Because that can hold 2 programs.
Yeah, okay, I can try that.
So let's put Leprechaun back in there as a one of. So we got 2 cards to cut. Okay. I think it's got to be 1 Dirty Laundry and something else.
I agree with you. I don't know about something else. Maybe the freedom, because now we're paying 3 for freedom.
Yeah.
And we have medium.
Yeah. That looks like a good starting position. I'm gonna call this good news, everyone. All right.
Oh man.
I think we've got a good starting point.
How much influence is this?
3, 4, 7, 11, 13, 14, 17, 21, 24, 27.
27.
30 counting clone chips. 31
Okay,
counting
30.
clone chips in stim hack.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. So
Yeah.
31 influence shape attack.
Yeah, it seems okay. So, Calvin, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yay.
And for everybody watching at home, we're going to go take it for a spin on competitive Jinteki. Until we see you again, always be running.
Thanks for having me.